stay tuned to find out how to do this beautiful moonlit water glistening scene. Okay, so I'm going to start by showing you how I'm going to mix my colours and what these colours are. I have got some rose madder, about a pea-sized blob and half a teaspoon of water, and some indigo, pea-sized blob, half a teaspoon of water. I've got a blob of sepia that I'm going to leave neat. So you should always start with the lightest colour first, which is my rose madder. So I'm going to give that a good mix in. This is with my round number 10. Now pick up my tester paper so you can see the colour that I'm achieving. Okay, so that's the rose madder. This is the indigo because I was checking it was definitely indigo. But I'm going to mix this up. Perfect colour for moonlight and nighttime. And there's my indigo. So you want it fairly strong. So we're going to make up this scene as we go along. So you'll have something to follow. But I'm going to do no drawing today. So I'm going to go just over halfway for the sky. So I'm going to wet the top section. Now with any nighttime skies, the same as daytime skies really. You can have a clear nighttime sky, you can have a cloudy nighttime sky. It's just the tone that's changing. Sometimes you get stars, sometimes you can't see the stars. So I'm just rinsing this brush out. Indigo is notorious for sticking in your brush. And you can see here there's a little bit still there. This is the rose madder I'm bringing on first. Just get a really nice edge. This is like giving you a little bit of a aurora sunset in there. It's just nicer to have more than one colour in the sky if you can. Rinse my brush off, dab it off on the kitchen towel, and I'm going to come in with the indigo. If you haven't got indigo, Prussian blue is the basis of indigo, and you can add a little bit of Payne's grey, or any blue with a bit of Payne's grey would work for night time. Indigo is just the perfect colour for it. So I've swept across the top, and then I'm going to start to sweep in. I'm not doing too cloudy. I don't mind leaving a little odd bit. And I'm blending it through that rose madder, but I'm not adding more to the brush. I'm starting at the top and then blending that down. And this sort of little semi-circle that's like a shallow U, a letter U, is just enough for it to hold us a beautiful nighttime sky. With very little on the brush at the end, and you're getting that really nice light feel. This is a really simple scene, so it's great for a beginner. Okay, I have got here, poised, a 5p piece. Any coin that you think is appropriate size, I want you to wrap it in a little bit of kitchen towel. This is going to be your moon. Then you need to decide where your moon is going to be. I am going to place my moon here. I'm going to dab it on, give it a little bit of a twist and take it off. And there you go, you've got your shape of your moon. Where we've got the shape of the moon, I'm then going to pop some candle wax. If I can find my candle wax. Every artist's got the box of tricks. Okay, so this is a tea light. It's a fairly old tea light, and you can see that I've used the sides of it. So you don't want to use an actual edge, you want to use the sides. And what I'm going to do, because this is a rough paper, is I'm going to very lightly catch the surface with the wax. Now you won't be able to see, and you want to get bigger as you come further away. I'm just hoping there's enough wax on here to show you. When I say you won't be able to see, there's a mucky mark there, but you get the gist. Now with indigo, it's notorious for fading when you dry it with a hairdryer, so I'm not going to dry it. I am going to leave a very, very small line in between. So it's a very, very small line of dry, so that I don't have to dry it and fade it with a hairdryer. And I'm wetting this bottom section. And I'm going to do very similar, but in horizontal strokes. So I'm going to take some of the rose madder through, and it's going to be reflecting the colour that's in the sky. You can get as close to that edge as you can. It's quite nice to have that line on something simple like this, because it's like a highlight. Get as close as you can, that white line. It's about 1 millimetre, but it's just saving me having to dry it and fade it. And you can see the wax starting to show. And I'm going to come into the indigo, start from the bottom, horizontal strokes now. So you've done that little C up there, now you're doing horizontal strokes with the brush. This is with my round number 10. You could use a flat if you wanted to as well. Just get this corner. You can see that wax shining through now. And it's that same process but in reverse. So we're starting with the dark at the front, then working back with a little bit on the brush and blending it through, but horizontally. So it's all about how you're blending with the brush. You get this lovely glistening from the moonlight. Now I'm going to pick up a number 6, and I've been watching just checking that the sheen hasn't gone on the paper at the top. What I'm going to show you is some little trees. So this is sepia. Just onto a round number 6, pretty much neat with a tiny dab of water. And because it's still wet, I'm going to get these beautiful little trees appearing. Just gives a little bit more interest onto this water's edge. You want to vary the heights. And it's just a dabbing action. We're not going to take this all the way along. We're just doing a little bit. It gives a bit of scale as well. These little bits of trees will give a bit of scale. Imagine this is a lovely lake in the moonlight with it glistening. You can see the trees the other side. So there's just a variety of heights. That's the important thing. And then keep some low, some high. Now here it's spread into the water. So I must have got very close there, which is absolutely fine, because the next thing we're about to do is take this into the reflection of the water. So we're just going to copy what we've done above. Roughly, it can be slightly different, but roughly it needs to mirror, a bit like when you did butterflies at school. Just needs to mirror it. And again, it's still a little bit wet. So the beauty of this Saunders Waterford paper is it stays wet for quite a while. A cotton paper will stay wet for quite a while. Unless you're somewhere ridiculously hot. Then you might have to re-wet it. Just make sure it's totally dry before you re-wet the paper. So I'm just mirroring what I can see above. You see how something so simple can make such a beautiful picture. Sometimes the simplest things are the best things for you to do. You're really concentrating on technique and how you're applying the paint. Okay, I'm just going to let that settle a minute and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so that's nicely dry now, so I'm just going to do a couple of finishing touches really. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take a little bit of water into that moon and just drop in a little bit of the indigo just round one side so that it's not fully bright. You've got that little bit of shadow. Just adds a little bit more to it really. A little bit of soft shadow in there. And then I'm going to pick up a small flat. So this is a 1 centimetre flat. I'm going to come into the indigo, taking quite a lot of water. So I don't want this to be too strong. I'm going to do some ripples in the water. So you see the difference there between those two colours. Okay, so I'm keeping my brush horizontally and I'm just going to catch the surface of the water. I'm dragging my hand downwards, but I'm keeping the brush horizontal and just catching the paper in places. You get this lovely surface effect. So I'll start it again here. So keep quite horizontal at the back, left to right. I'm not actually moving the brush, I'm just moving my hand down the paper. The brush is just staying horizontal. I'm doing it in like 3 sections here. Oops, sorry, just hitting the tripod a little bit there. Again, just coming down. You need to make sure you've got enough paint on the brush. I'm not quite loaded enough there. You can come into the other ones, other ripples, and it just gives an additional dimension, surface to the water. I'll put a little one in here, look. So this is horizontal wiggling down. Horizontal wiggling down. Horizontal wiggling down. So I'm keeping the brush on the paper as I wiggle. It's a small wiggle. So it just shows you the different things you can do with the flat brush. You don't want to make too much of a pattern, so I'm going to bring one this way. On this way. So I'm thinking I've got to make this look less patterned. It was quite even there. So I'm just bringing a few ripples in that way, and that way. Okay, I'll pop a mount on. And there we go. So this is the finished scene, a nice simple moonlit water scene with some glistening on the water from the wax. So simple wet in wet techniques, really focusing on how to use your brush and the consistency of the paint to apply the washes there. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll pop you another video just over this side, so if you want to click on that, if you've got a taster and want to have another go, then please do, and please do like, subscribe and comment. It's always nice to hear your comments, and I shall see you next time.